Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. And thank you for joining us today. If you haven't, please take a minute and subscribe to the channel. Just helps us with growing the channel and getting the word out about everything that we're doing. And today we are talking about why condo ownership is not right for you.
Don't buy a condo. Whatever you do, we're going to come up with some reasons why you shouldn't buy a condo. No. Like, I'm not saying don't ever buy a condo. We're just going to approach this with the sensibility of like, you should know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
So you don't go in there and then, you know, you're kind of surprised on how condo living is like.
Yeah. You know, and I've lived in condos, I've lived in houses, I've owned, you know, both. And so I have a little bit of perspective on that. But I think there's just a condo can be a great option. But there are some things that are different about owning a condo than owning a house, a single family home. And to me, the number one thing is you have rules.
That's right. You have a communal living.
So you have bylaws.
Yeah.
You know, when I live in a single family house, do I have rules? Sure. Those are called the law and the bylaws of the municipality I live in. When you live in a condo, you have strata regulations and bylaws.
What would be some examples?
If you have pets, there's usually a limitation on the number of pets, the size of pets.
Right. So if I have a big dog, 100-pound dog, whatever it is.
So it depends what your bylaws say.
Or if I have like 3 dogs.
Yeah. Typically that's not going to go in a condo.
Right. But that still, it restricts people from in a good and it's kind of both ways, right?
Sure.
If you want to live in a building with no pets and you're allergic to pets and you can't be near pets, like maybe that's a good thing.
Sure.
But if you, on the flip side, if you have a dog or you have multiple, I don't know, cats, then it's not going to work out. You're not going to be able to find a place. Just from the standard schedule of bylaws, there's a limitation on pets.
Yeah, and usually
number and kind.
Number and the size when you talk about dogs.
Yeah.
So number one, you have bylaws that you have to live with. Number two, you have to live with a strata fee.
Let's start off with what is a strata fee? Why am I paying these monthly fees to the building?
I don't know. That's what I kept asking and they wouldn't tell me.
I can tell you.
Okay, you go ahead.
So that goes towards maintenance of the property.
Okay.
Right. So if there's a 100 units or 10 units in a building or townhouse complex, you know, these are all stratas. And they would have bylaws. They would have all those same reasons. You'd be sharing the cost of like replacing the roof or drain tiles or fixing the elevator or
all the common areas. So the strata fee basically takes care of all of the common area, and if there needs to be snow removal in the common area, if there's the groundskeeping that needs to be done, whether it's mowing the lawn or all of those things. So.
Yeah, or maintenance of those common areas.
Yeah.
Like we're in our other. This is going to be our second palatial studio with a pool room, a kitchen, a gym,
and a gym. Yeah.
There's a fireplace behind us. There's a whole lounge over here, right? So it would be maintaining spaces like this, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to circle back to bylaws, age restrictions.
Yeah, well...
So that would be an example of a bylaw.
Yeah.
Where what are the government's
I was going to say, the only age restriction we have in BC now is it's 55 and over. 55
and over, where there has been 18 plus, 19 plus, 30 plus. They also, it doesn't matter. People could make up their own rule. This is where, this is a reason to be careful or be knowing, I can't talk today. Just know this going in, that the government is the one that changed the bylaws across the board for people.
Yeah.
So they've taken rental restrictions
No rental
away,
restrictions, yeah.
Where some places you couldn't rent.
Yeah.
Like if you own the suite and then rent the suite out.
Sure.
And then locking you into this 55 plus age restriction or none at all.
Yeah.
Where some buildings have, they might have been 20 plus.
Yeah.
And they've switched to 55 plus now.
Right.
So, there's those rules some of those rules might change. I don't know if that's going to happen again in the future. If anything, I could guess, what if they took pet restrictions away?
Yeah, I can't see that one happening.
I know, but I didn't see the rental restrictions or the age restrictions happening either.
Yeah. Well, I can see the rationale
Yeah.
of what they're trying to do in terms of making
Affordable
more
housing.
availability.
Yeah.
So, okay, what else? Why else would you not want to?
You have to get along with like strangers. Like we talk about communal living.
Can't I just zoom into everything?
You can
Can't they just do it all on my phone?
You could, but like there's those other 10 other parties or 50 other parties, not parties, other people, the Strata Corporation members.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. And then it's like it's.
I'll just hold up my phone and the QR code to them, and then they can just scan the code and talk to me.
Right, because you can have the meetings virtually now.
Right.
I think that's what one of the other bylaw changes that the
Yeah,
government
as a
did
result
on that.
of COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. You do need to be able to, understand that you're sure you have your own place, but you're also with a whole bunch of people working on keeping this whole place, the whole building, the whole area nice and kept up and so on.
Yeah. So what if you're dead set against having pets? Here's my example. Well, you have to have like a certain amount of people voting in the same direction. But what if 75%, let's say, of the building wants to have a dog or a cat? Like,
Yeah. Well,
really
you're going to
good.
get overruled. 75% makes a new bylaw.
So, yeah, but you have to know this going in. The
Right.
bylaws could change in time.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, so going with that voting process with everybody else as a group, what if your roof needs to get replaced, your elevator, whatever, and you've saved money, and you have some, but maybe it doesn't pay for the whole roof, and you have to finance some. Well, how are you going to do this? Now you're going along with what 75% of the vote goes along with, right?
Right.
It could show up as a special assessment. Maybe not everyone has 20 grand
Sure.
to put out towards
Yeah.
a special assessment.
What's a special assessment? Let's start with that.
Thank you. You gotta hold me back, right? Pump the brakes, Patrick. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. So a special assessment is when there could be a shortfall in a maintenance cost
Okay.
or repair,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a building
Yeah.
that you're living in, and the Strata Corporation or Strata Council could decide to do a special assessment in order to pay for it. So they're going to send you a bill for the shortfall. And this bill is split up between
Okay.
everybody in the building.
Okay.
And there's varying amounts because to make it fair, the one bedrooms are not paying the same as a 2-bedroom condo.
Got it.
Or if it's a smaller one bedroom.
Usually it's based on square footage or something
It's
like
based
that.
on, yeah, exactly, right? So there's a lot to know before getting into
Sure.
a condo where it could sort of be out of your hand.
Yeah.
And you have to go along with what what everybody votes for.
Sure. Now, I know we're running out of time in this episode, but I do want to add that a condo may be a great option for some people. You don't have to do any upkeep. You don't have to take care of the grounds.
Yeah, it can be very convenient.
It's very convenient. If I know for shift workers, it's good they don't have to take care of things. I know, after I'd lived in a house for a couple of years, I kind of sat down and was like, okay, I don't want to own a house anymore because I have to shovel the walk, I have to cut the grass, I have to do and I was a very busy lifestyle. So decided to sell the house and move into a townhouse.
Yeah.
So that they could take care of everything. So there's some definite options and reasons to have a condo. I think our point, and yes, we're a little tongue in cheek with how we title this one, but I think the point is we want you to understand that there's still some questions to ask. The price point, we could say the price point is better, but I've looked at $2 million condos before. So the price point may be better for a condo versus a house, depending on what you're getting. But again, that's about what you're getting. So the condo may be a great option for you, but you just need to think that whole thing through about what's the process look like and what is life in a condo like. The other thing, of course, is check out the soundproofing.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Make sure you know what the soundproofing is like when it comes to a condo. And usually they're good, certainly the new ones. And usually they're pretty good, but
Those are great things to become aware of, like the different types of condos for sound or any the kind of amenities that they offer, and what your responsibility and what the rules are for these corporations.
Yeah.
The condo building.
the Stratacorp. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you for joining us today.